Hey everyone!
What's up?
I'm here with Tom Delgado and we're going to do a walk of Central Park South today from 8th Avenue to 5th Ave.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I don't think it matters if they're ready. We're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Just skip ahead.
All right, let's do it. All right, so here we are. We're at Time Warner Center here. This is the Time Warner Center. All this area here, this is the Time Warner Center. It was where the offices of CNN were for a very long time. This is all Columbus Circle, named after Christopher Columbus. You can see the monument here to Christopher Columbus. It was built in 1892 to commemorate 400 years since he discovered America. But it's a very famous, I guess, roundabout here because it's the southwest corner of Central Park, which is right here. Also, too, this spot on Broadway, this is where Broadway kind of intersects with 8th Avenue here to the right. This is where the Marshmallow Man first appeared in Ghostbusters. Ah!
Mr. Marshmallow Man, huh?
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I don't know if you guys remember that, but Ray in the movie thinks about the most harmless thing he could think about when Zool says, leaves it open to them to decide what her form will be. And that's why it's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That building's up on Central Park West, actually, the building where they fought at the end of the movie. There's Trump International
right
Hotel and Tower as well. That's Trump International Hotel and Tower. It's one of Donald Trump's buildings here. There's the building from Tower Heist as well. Janet Jackson, I believe, still has an apartment in that building. And then that's 15 Central Park West, fancy building. We cross? What's going on?
Yeah, we can cross.
Let's do it. And then this here is the USS Maine Monument. The USS Maine Monument, this was actually put here in 1913, but it commemorates the sinking of the USS Maine in 1898 off the coast of Cuba. That's what precipitated the United States entrance into the Spanish-American War. And actually they say, so Audrey Munson, first of all, is who they used as the model for that right there, for the statue. She's a very famous model here in New York. They used her for a lot of the statues in the early 1900s. But they actually used some of the metal salvaged from the USS Maine that sank for this statue. So this is the southwest corner of Central Park. This is one of the main entrances of Central Park. And we're on 59th Street. This is where Central Park begins. Central Park starts here, 59th Street, and it goes all the way to 110th in the north. And it starts here at 8th Avenue in the west and goes to 5th Avenue in the east. It's 843 acres, Ken. Did you know that?
843.
843, and it's not even the biggest in New York by far. It's a small. It's one of the. It's not even one of the biggest. In fact, Pelham Bay Park in the Bronx is almost 3 times the size of Central Park. What makes this one so impressive is where it's located. It's located smack in the middle of Manhattan, which is such a densely populated place.
That's why it's called Central.
Exactly, but you know what's interesting is they opened in 1858, and back then there was no city out here. They named it Central Park knowing that the city was going to expand all the way out here.
Wow, that was some foresight.
That's right, that is some foresight. So this is all Central Park South, a lot of fancy real estate in this area. People like Lady Gaga used to live here. I'll show you her building here in a second. Billy Joel lived here for a while. Lady Gaga lived here in a rental apartment that cost $33,000 a month. Not too bad, huh?
Yep.
Here it is. This is the big one.
All the streets bordering Central Park, they're all named after the direction, but not 5th Ave. There's no Central Park East.
Here's 220 Central Park South. That's that giant building there that just got finished.
Aha. Whoa.
Most expensive apartment ever sold in this building. To Ken Griffin, the hedge fund manager, $238 million. Just think of that number. Think of what that could get you in like Tampa, Florida. You know? That would get you like, you could buy like the airport or something.
You can buy the whole state.
You could buy the whole, yeah, you could buy, that's crazy. Ken Griffin's like the hedge fund guy. And then here you were coming up to 7th Avenue, which dumps into here.
It's amazing how much real estate you get for your dollar in New York.
Nothing. You get great views of Central Park, which is right here to the left. You can see it's a nice day today. People out.
Won't be bad, right? You buy an apartment here, your backyard, Central Park.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Have a picnic here anytime you want.
Yeah. What's interesting though is the park was built kind of for all kinds of people. There's Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux designed it. 1858 it was opened. But the whole idea behind Central Park was to democratize outdoor recreation. It wasn't supposed to be for just the rich or the poor. In fact, like all the main highlights of the park, the idea was to make them in a way that you couldn't show off your wealth. Like for example, the Central Park Mall, Bethesda Terrace, you weren't allowed to take horses or carriages or anything of that, and you had to walk it. You had to walk those places. So if you were poor or rich, you had to interact with each other, regardless of how much money you had, because that's how they built them. And that was kind of a new thing, to design a park for everyone.
Look at these, all these pigeons are animals.
Yeah.
They're just stealing this horse's food.
But it's funny, he'll kick the bucket to get them away when they get inside.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when they get inside to start eating it from inside, he'll kick the bucket so he can eat himself.
Wow.
If they do get inside. But
I saw one of these horses feed the pigeons before. Just put his mouth in and then just start dropping
Oh,
the
that's so
food
funny.
on the side.
See, look, they're getting his foot ready to kick it.
Can a horse eat in peace, right? It's so rude.
That is rude. Poor workhorses.
How would you feel like it if I ate your food and then like...
Is that a threat, Ken? Oh my God, take it easy. So this is kind of cool. This is the Essex House. This is actually the Marriott now. It's the JW Marriott, but it was the Essex House. It was built in the late 1920s. And it's really cool architecture though. Look, you see that? That's all Art Deco.
Ah.
Art Deco architecture, which was really popular here in the United States in the late 1920s. It's named after, actually, so it started to pop up in Europe in the 1910s-ish, like late 19-teens after World War I. But the United States kind of adopted it as their own in the late 1920s after l'Exposition d'Art Décoratif of Paris, France. Thank you very much, Ken. I know I can see that face. But it's Art Deco, Art Décoratif. Look at that, that's where Art Deco got its name.
Oh.
But they saw it there and they loved it, and it went up all over New York. You have good examples of it in the Chrysler Building, Empire State Building, Rockefeller Center. But here's a good example too. You can see the shininess, the angular design. Those are big, I guess, characteristics of that style. Look at these cars, Ken.
Classics. By the way, give my boy Tom here some oatmeal money. Visit his channel.
Yeah. Yeah,
Tom
check out my
DNYC.
channel, Tom DNYC, and my Instagram, Tom DNYC, please. But yeah, so you can see too, this is kind of cool. All that rock there, you're gonna see this a lot in Central Park. That's the bedrock of Manhattan. That's called Manhattan schist. Schist. I emphasize the second S, Ken. Schist. Big pile of schist right there, huh?
I thought you said something inappropriate.
I know you
back
did.
there.
I saw your face. But that's Manhattan schist. That's what pretty much all over Central Park. That's one of the reasons why it wasn't so inhabited when they opened the park in 1858. They only really had to evict about 1,000 people in a village called Seneca Village up near the Natural History Museum. That was pretty much it. Most of it wasn't that occupied because of all that rock everywhere. It wasn't that desirable. There's the Trump Park Hotel. The Trump Park building, sorry. It used to be the Barbizon Plaza Hotel, that was what it was called. But he bought it a little while back.
Another Trump building.
Yep, another Trump building. He's got a couple. And then here, you have kind of like what they call, I guess, kind of like the Liberators Circle. Not really have, but this is the Avenue of the Americas. So they have all these, Latin American liberators, the statues to them. Simón Bolívar, José de San Martín, José Martí. Thank you very much for the accent. Yo hablo español fluidamente, muchas gracias.
Oh.
But anyways, you have all these here. You can see there's Martí. He was big in the liberation of Cuba. San Martín. Here.
This is San Martin.
There's Argentina, Peru, Chile. And then you have over here Bolívar. Simón Bolívar. He like, Ecuador, Bolivia, Venezuela. He liberated a bunch of countries, all from the Spanish. And then this is 6th Avenue.
Look at all those taxis.
Yeah. Also, this is where they shot the scene in Elf. You remember the scene in Elf when the sleigh finally takes off?
Yeah, I've seen
You know
that.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where the dad finally is like, all right, I'll sing. And he sings and the sleigh gets enough juice to take off. That was right here. And then there's the Ritz-Carlton.
Ritz-Carlton.
Yep. Used to be the Hotel St. Moritz, which was a very fancy hotel back in the day. And it took over. It's like the flagship, I believe. Flagship Ritz. Also, too, I forgot to mention that though, but that building with the green top there, you see that building with the green top?
I see it.
That's the Hampshire House. It's a co-op apartment building. That was where Luciano Pavarotti lived when he passed away. He lived in a 2,000 square foot apartment for it was a $10 million 2,000 square foot apartment. Do the math. It's not a lot of space for $10 million.
Not a lot at all.
But then you have Sarah Beth's, very famous, like, little restaurant here in New York. It started out as like a little bakery in like the early, like 1981. And then she's opened a bunch of, or they've opened, I don't know if it's still her, but they've opened a bunch all over, and this is one of the bigger ones. Pretty good brunch place, not cheap though. And then over here, Ken, look.
What do we got here?
You have the pond coming up. See it?
Oh, look at this pond. Got some geese swimming in there too.
Yeah, that's a Hallett Nature Sanctuary.
Just don't make the geese mad though, they get pretty aggressive.
No, geese are not, they don't mess around, dude. The geese will hurt you. But the squirrels are nice. Just feed them. Here's a little secret. If you ever want to come to New York and feed the squirrels, use cashews. They love cashews. But if they bite you, don't get mad at me. But I feed them all the time. They're nice. They'll like climb up on your arm and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
You know what my friend does to keep squirrels out of his backyard and stop eating his like fruits and stuff?
He shoots them?
No, he uses cayenne pepper.
Oh, really?
Sprinkles it on the vegetables.
That's funny.
I saw a squirrel eat cayenne pepper one time. It was like rolling around in the dirt.
Oh, that's so funny. He was dying, huh?
Yeah.
So here to the right, you have the Plaza Hotel. You see the Oak Room there? This is the Oak Room. The Oak Room was like the bar, the restaurant to like hang out in and be seen in like the 1950s and 1960s. It opened with the actual hotel in 1907, but it recently closed down. But they shot like scenes from Scent a Woman, North by Northwest, Gossip Girl, Mad Men, anything that was trying to convey like wealth and importance, they shot there, or to portray it to look like they shot it there. But this is the Plaza Hotel. It's also residences. This is actually the residence entrance. It says residence only.
Residence.
There's actually condos there. It's not just a hotel.
There's also a good food court here at the Plaza.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive though. But the residents there are very nice. Like Tommy Hilfiger lives there. And then then obviously you have the hotel as well, which you may recognize from what movie, Ken?
Which movie
Home
was
Alone
that?
2. Come on.
Oh yes.
What's wrong with you?
Home Alone 2.
Home Alone 2. Yeah, that's where Kevin McAllister stayed on his dad's credit card. And you remember in the movie who made a cameo, right? Donald Trump.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he used to own the hotel. But his ex-wife got it in the divorce, Ivana. Now we're heading to 59th and 5th. We're kind of towards the end of Central Park South. We'll talk about a couple things here, and then we'll
end it up.
So here to the left, this is another one of the main. We're actually 59th and 5th. This is another one of the main entrances of Central Park. This right here is called Grand Army Plaza to the left. It's named after the Union forces of the Civil War. The Civil War happened in the early 1860s here in the United States. It was between the North and the South over pretty much, bring the country back together. The Union wanted to bring it back together. That was one of the generals of the Union. His name was William Tecumseh Sherman. He was actually credited with turning the tide in favor of the Union because it was losing to the South initially. And he helped turn the tide by using a scorched earth policy. He would go into the South, he would defeat the military, then he'd burn the nearest city to the ground to demoralize the army. So for example, in the movie Gone with the Wind, you ever seen that?
I haven't seen
Gone
that
with the
movie.
Wind, in that movie, the city of Atlanta burns down. That was what he did. He would do that. But it eventually turned the tide, and this is a statue. August Saint Gaudens was the sculptor, gilded bronze. People always ask if it's gold, it's gilded bronze. And then you have over here, you have the Pulitzer Fountain. You also have these other fancy hotels. People always think of the Plaza, which is this hotel. It's very pretty, right? 1907, Henry Hardenberg's the architect. But there's also other ones here. You have the Pierre and the Sherry Netherland. Pierre famous for being where Monica and Chandler got married in Friends.
Lots of fancy hotels here.
I know, right?
That's all.
But yeah, this is Grand Army Plaza. And then you also have here, you have the Plaza Hotel. Rooms running like
there's an
$800
Apple
a night.
store there too.
And there's an Apple store over here to the left. And then you have the
Recently
Pulitzer
finished a
Fountain.
renovation.
Kind of cool. So this Pulitzer Fountain is actually cool. This was actually donated Pulitzer after the name Joseph Pulitzer, who was a Hungarian immigrant who came here and made a fortune off of newspapers. And he used a lot of his fortune to fund projects around the city, like the pedestal to the Statue of Liberty he helped with. He funded this fountain. He also funded the Pulitzer Prize, given out every year for excellence in journalism at Columbia. That's his name.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this fountain, though, if you look at it, It's actually the fountain that inspired the fountain from the TV show Friends. So what happened was they were going to use this fountain, and they actually tried it out with stand-ins to see what it would look like if they shot the actual intro credits. You guys remember that? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about, Ken?
Yeah, I see that.
So like the "I'll be there for you," that whole thing. They were thinking of doing it here, but they used stand-ins to see what it would look like, and it looked too big. So they scaled it down and built one on the Warner Brothers lot in LA, and that's the one they ended up using. Also on top, you have Pomona, the Roman goddess of abundance.
Aha.
Yeah, in front of the plaza. Very, very, appropriate. But you might also recognize this from other movies. I mean, they used it in Gossip Girl. They used it in, Serendipity. You've seen that movie. There's Bergdorf Goodman here. And the other Bergdorf Goodman they opened as well.
Oh, there's two of them.
Yeah.
And then you see some skyline over there.
And then this here, yeah. This is all
Trump
Fifth
Tower.
Avenue. This is all Fifth Avenue. What's interesting to remember is here at 59th is where it kind of starts the Upper East Side up here. And to the south is kind of, more Midtown. Fifth Avenue is kind of the border-ish between Midtown West and Midtown East. But if you go south here, you get back to like Tiffany, you get to all the fancy shopping, the Louis Vuitton, the Armani, the Gucci, all those brands. They're that south.
And the Italian brand, which I can't pronounce with an E.
Which one? Oh yeah, Ermenegildo Zingna. I don't know. I think that's right. But all here is where the Plaza Hotel main entrance is. And it's the Pulitzer Fountain, and that's Central Park. One day we'll have to walk through there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that wraps it up for this
What do you
video.
guys think?
All right.
What do you think, Ken? Do we do a good job, guys?
Maybe not. I think so.
No, Ken, don't say that. We did a great job. I think people appreciate this. They need to see stuff like this.
We got to see it.
Yeah, but thank you guys so much.
See you later,
Yeah,
man.
check out my channel,
Take care.
Tom DNYC.
Tom DNYC.
Yeah, and Instagram.
Catch you all later, folks.
See you guys.
Bye.